What's going on, everybody? It's the lead word. I'm Chad Bauman. With me, as always, Trey Daubert. We had a quick little bye week last week, but we're back and better than ever, some might say. Trey, what's going on?
Not much, Chad. I squeaked out a big win in fantasy for DeAndre Swift finally got going, so that's good. That hockey season's back, so we're recording a little bit later than we normally do just because the Golden Knights were on. I don't know about you, Chad. I'm ready to get started here. This one is going to be right up your alley, so I figure I'll start. Chad, I think Baker Mayfield might be able to win the Super Bowl.
I already told you, I think he's a lock for MVP.
They just don't lose. Now,
They do.
well, once. This game that just happened is really a two-parter for me. The Bucs beating the 49ers. Yeah, I get that the 49ers are injured, but Tampa Bay, their offense is so good. And Bucky Irving didn't even play. They put up 33 points on that defense. So at this point, like, it seems like the biggest concern for Tampa is like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Bucky Irving, throw in Jalen McMillan and Egbuka. Can those guys just be healthy for when the games count? Because if that happens, I think they might win the NFC, Chad. Your thoughts?
It's very, very, very possible. What is their bye week? Do you know? Because that would be curious. Like, because if they have a really late bye week, that could do them like some serious good, just kind of like heading into the back half of the season.
Week
Where, like,
9.
everybody, week 9, dude, that's like it sucks because you got to get there, but that's actually not. It's not too bad of a bye week to have because like then like everybody else is starting to get beat up, especially if you got like an early bye week.
Oh, they're
And then
beat up.
well, I know they're beat up. I'm saying like everybody else has an early bye week. They're gonna start getting beat up around week 9, and then that's when the Bucs will have their opportunity to rehab some guys if they can make it there. That's a nice little sweet spot for a bye week for them.
They have some unbelievable weapons too. Like they just keep dropping like flies. And here comes Tez Johnson. I mean, like I don't know if this is crazy or not to say. I think they have from like the top to the very bottom, the best wide receiver room in the NFL. Between Evans, Godwin, Egbuka, throw in Tez Johnson. Jalen McMillan was really good last year too.
I don't know if I would say it's the best wide receiver room. I would definitely say that I think there's a lot of Baker Mayfield going around, and I think that you gotta give Baker his props because I think he brings a toughness to the Bucs that like you don't normally get from the quarterback position.
He's playing his balls off.
How often are you seeing your star quarterback telling a guy, an opposing team's fan before the start of the game, you're like that just doesn't happen, and that's why
And
Baker
like
quarterback not in the Eagles jersey.
one of the things that I was concerned about is like, man, he's now on his third offensive coordinator in 3 years. Like, I thought they're gonna miss on one of these hires, right? He's just doing the same thing. So, like, at this point, I don't know if it even matters who's calling the plays. He's just proving that he's good on his own.
Yeah, like I said, two or 3 weeks ago, I think Baker. He's got to be the favorite to be the MVP. I think he's playing his lights out. I mean, their defense hasn't been super great at times, but I mean, it's been good enough. They've gotten some key stops when they needed them.
Yeah.
So like they're playing winning football. So
That was all I really had on it. It was like, I'm watching that game is like, they don't fucking lose. They score a shit ton of points. And I'm not sure that anybody in the NFC is going to beat them.
I mean, for sure, their offense is hard to stop. Like once they get going, like once they get in a rhythm, it's over. They can kind of come at you from any direction. But I think kind of like to your point, it's just get through the games, get healthy. Like because we just finished up week 6, you've got 2 more games until you have to get to your bye week, and then like I said, they have a late bye week, so that'll be pretty good for them.
On the flip side of that, just quickly, and then you can get your first one. I don't know if this is jumping the gun, but it feels like San Francisco might be done for this year. I mean, how many more injuries can they possibly suffer between Boza, now Fred Warner's out, and Kittle's already been out? Like, if McCaffrey goes down, they're screwed. Would you say they're done or they're still alive?
I would say they're done.
Yeah.
I would say I might even take it a step further. I don't know if this is what you meant particularly. I would maybe even venture to say like this particular brand of the 49ers is done. Like cuz it's not like this is like, oh, they're just having bad injury luck this year. It's every year they have injuries that like
And they're an old team.
yeah, one guy goes down and it's like, oh, their entire offense can't do anything. I mean, it might be time for them to just be like, okay, let's start the rebuild, the reload, the rebrand, whatever you want to call it. Let's start that now, and then hopefully we'll be back within a couple years.
All I'm saying is I feel okay about my Seahawks pick for the NFC West. I feel like it's still got a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be the Cardinals, and the Rams have their own set of problems.
Anywho, let's hear this Eagles rant you got this week.
I'll go with that one second. Sorry, because like I said, I don't think it's not gonna be what you're expecting me to say.
All right.
But I just want to say, you know what, Bills fans, it's okay. You lost to the Falcons. The Falcons are not good, but it's not the end of the world. You still got Josh Allen. I throw it back to, what was it, week 1 or week 2, Trey?
I fucking hate McDermott, man. He drives me nuts.
Like I said, I throw it back to week 1 or week 2, and I said, hey man, the Bills, they're going to be a good team, but they're going to struggle because they're trying to rely too much on Josh Allen. They haven't done enough to get him help. And I think, like, obviously we're still early in the season. It's only week 6, but like if you're losing to the Falcons the way that they lost to the Falcons, I think that kind of proves, like, once you hit playoff football, like,
their defense is fucking terrible.
It's going to be tough to rely on Josh Allen when you have to play really good teams. And a lot of the teams in the NFC, they have really good run games. And I mean, Bijan Robinson's one guy, and they just couldn't tackle him.
They can't tackle, period. They can't tackle anybody. I mean, they couldn't tackle still that play with Cole Bishop trying to tackle Derrick Henry. That's their entire defense.
Yeah. I mean, look, I said it. Like I said, I just want to say, I said it 2 weeks ago, or in week 2 or week 1. Josh Allen needs help. They don't do enough to help out Josh Allen, at least on the defensive side of the ball. And it's a shame because they figure out that defense, they're not going to win a Super Bowl. And I say the proof is in that pudding.
One thing that they can do to help Josh Allen on offense, and that would be like, can James Cook please get the ball more? Because what lost them that game is that 4th and 1 end around to Elijah Moore that was never going to fucking work. Like, why do they constantly in key situations avoid giving James Cook the football? That's what I really want to know. Not that they don't ever give it to him, but like, you could really feed this guy a hell of a lot more.
Well, I think it's trust issues on their offensive line.
Maybe. Like, they lost that game the second that 4th and 1 Elijah Moore end around didn't work. That was the end of the game right there. Why is the ball going to Elijah Moore in key situations?
I mean, I don't even know if I would say give it to James Cook in that situation.
How about anybody that's not Elijah Moore?
What?
How about anybody who's not Elijah Moore?
I mean, how about the one guy on your team that you know is really good and really is the main reason for all of your success?
Yeah,
or like taking the ball out of Josh Allen's hands on 4th and 1.
Or yeah, just like a normal quarterback sneak would have been cool too.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if they didn't vote to ban the brotherly shove, maybe if they didn't vote to ban the brotherly shove and instead invested in some offensive linemen and, you know, maybe some guys that could get back there and give Josh Allen a push or two, maybe they could have got that 4th and 1. Jalen Hurts would have got that 4th and 1.
I'll say this though, on the flip side, I'm not taking the Falcons seriously. I don't care that they won that game. Like, anybody that's bragging up this Falcons team, you're gonna get your heart broken because that's not a real contender. Are we in the same page?
What are they, 3-3 now? But yeah, I mean, let's be honest. The Jets beat the Broncos this weekend. What are we saying? The Jets are making a comeback now? No,
well, the Jets didn't actually win though.
They didn't.
The Jets should have won, but they didn't.
I didn't see the game. I only looked for. Did I just misread the score entirely then?
The Jets probably should have won, but they didn't. Okay, yeah, Atlanta's 3-2. Atlanta's 3-2.
3-2. Yeah, I mean, a winning record for now, but I don't. Oh, you know what? Yeah. I did misread it. 13-11. That's on me. Yeah.
Where would you put Atlanta in like the NFC power rankings? Because I don't think they're better than Green Bay, Detroit, or Minnesota. I don't think they're better than Philly or Washington. I don't think they're better than Tampa. I don't think they're better than the Rams or the Seahawks.
I mean,
I think they're a lot closer to Carolina than anybody wants to admit.
I was going to say, I don't think they're like even second best in their division.
Okay.
I don't know. What out of 16 teams? I don't know, maybe like 11 or 10.
Yep, totally agree. Okay, I just wanted to talk maybe 5-10 minutes on the Steelers because I just think it's pretty clear at this point they're going to win not the NFC North, the AFC North. I've never been like a huge Tomlin guy, but the guy wins games and the rest of the division is brutal. Cleveland, they have no chance. The Ravens, they're done. And the Bengals, they were done the second that Burrow got hurt, and the Zach Taylor thing's never going to work. So we're going to be seeing some playoff Aaron Rodgers, Chad. I don't know who needs to hear that, but like, I think we just need to pencil the Steelers in right now.
Well, I mean, unless Aaron Rodgers gets hurt.
Yeah.
He's 40 years old. That's a very huge.
I'm going to knock on some wood. Injury aside, you can pencil. I actually should probably look at what the odds are for the division because you can pencil them in. They're making the playoffs at minimum.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing though. Like, I don't think it's so much because like Mike Tomlin's doing anything crazy. crazy or because the Steelers are
No,
even
I
like
don't either.
all that good. It's literally just because like it's literally injuries and the fact that Cleveland is, Cleveland. That's the only thing.
Cleveland, they're a bye.
Yeah. So it's like I mean it's good. Like I mean I guess if you're a Steelers fan, you got to be happy that they're winning. But at
Yeah.
the same time, it's like, is this really how you want to win?
I mean, it depends on your expectations. I mean, in theory, this Rodgers thing is going great for anybody. Like anybody that was like anti the Rodgers 1 year stopgap, they shouldn't be complaining about that because he's doing his job. I mean, he's not like peak Aaron Rodgers anymore, but they're playing good defense behind him. They're running the ball. He's hitting the easy throws. He's getting the most out of Metcalf. Metcalf's having a really nice year. So, like anybody who was like really anti the Rodgers thing, those people were dead wrong. In terms of art, is this really the way you want to win? Probably not, because like I wouldn't say they're like a Super Bowl contender or have like any real long-term plan, but they're winning and they're definitely going to be a playoff team. And I think this year, because this hasn't been the case in like 5 years, they actually have a chance to win a playoff game this year.
Yeah, I think it's just weird because, like, yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned like Aaron Rodgers is on a 1 year stopgap, and it's like, okay, cool. What does 1 year get you when you know you're not going to be in the Super Bowl? You know?
They're probably not going to be in the Super Bowl, but like in terms of the AFC, would it be crazy to say they're the fourth best team in the AFC?
I don't think I would go that high. I mean, I got to think.
Depends how you feel about all the AFC West teams, but after that, it's really just Buffalo and New England.
Yeah, I was gonna say New England.
And
I don't
you
know,
want to
man.
count the
I
fucking
just,
AFC South.
I mean, like I said, for this year, it's all well and good.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, you got to be like, I mean, I don't know. I guess like me personally, like if I was a Steelers fan, I'd still be a little depressed just because it's like, yeah, great. We're going to make the playoffs. We might win one playoff game. What does that do for me? It doesn't really do anything
They're
because
the
like,
Marvin Lewis Cincinnati Bengals is what they are.
yeah, basically, like, but does anybody really ever want to be? But no, not. I wouldn't even say I wouldn't even say they're the Marv Lewis Cincinnati Bengals because at least Cincinnati knew they were going back to the playoffs again the next year. I don't know because like Baltimore's gonna get healthy. Joe Burrow is eventually gonna get healthy. Like you got one. So like I'll put it to you this way, right? Like when the Rams won the Super Bowl, like there was a lot of talk, like, oh yeah, this is why they traded all their draft picks away because they put it all eggs in one basket. Like all of your eggs are in one basket to maybe win one playoff. Like that does absolutely nothing for you. Like it's literally like the football equivalent of going to the strip club. Oh great, I'm just here to see boobs. I can see boobs at the house on the internet. Like,
but they have a better chance this year than I would say. This is their best team since Roethlisberger was the quarterback.
I mean, that might be fair, but like I said,
That's a long time.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, yeah, because they haven't really had.
That's what I'm saying. It's been hard. I mean, they've had Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph. It's been horrible. So, like, he's at least stabilizing the ship,
Yeah,
which is better than what they've had.
I mean, I just think it would have been a lot better for them if they. I mean, I don't know, drafted a guy, did anything.
But who were they going to pick this year?
They could have traded up.
They could have
They had
taken
draft
Shadur.
picks. I mean, yeah, Cleveland. They could still go get him. Cleveland doesn't win, apparently.
Probably. And Cleveland just made a trade with the Bengals. Cleveland just made a trade with the Bengals to give them Flacco.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, at least like if you bring in Shador, it's like, all right, well, we got a guy who could maybe learn from Aaron Rodgers for a little bit, or at least I actually wouldn't even say learn from Aaron Rodgers. I'm not like a huge like, oh, you got to go learn from this guy kind of like. That's what you pay your coaches for. To have the coach learn your quarterback how to play some football. But like, at least like if you drafted a guy like Shador, you could bring him in and it'd be like, okay, we'll see what you got. You'll learn the offense, and maybe you take over in a year or two. But here it's just like, okay, well, we lose Aaron Rodgers after a year. We make a plan. We're back in the same boat next offseason that we were in at the start of this boat.
Yep.
And we're probably worse off because I doubt we're gonna see the same luck with injuries for other teams that we got this year.
Well, not even that. It's like they're going to be in the same spot in the sense that like they're still not going to be in a spot to pick a quarterback because they're going to be picking too high or too low.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
All right. Speaking of the other team in Pennsylvania, floor is yours.
Okay. Call me crazy. I don't think this loss to the Giants is as bad as people are making it out to be.
Okay. So you're being rational, Chad.
I don't know if it's being rational or if maybe the Super Bowl has made me soft, but here's a couple things that I point to. A lot of people are like, oh, you got to fire Kevin Patullo. I'm like, maybe. The reason why I say maybe is because we haven't really seen a full offense from him yet. Like there are times times, and I know there's a lot of people that are like, I guess in this area that are like, oh, when the Eagles offense is doing good, it has absolutely zero to do with Kevin Patullo. They like lock him in a closet and just start calling plays on the field, or they go rogue or whatever. But I mean, we don't really know that. We're not in the locker room. We're not in the huddle, or, we don't have the microphone in our helmets or whatever. So we don't really know. My thing is when I'm watching the Eagles play football this year, it's not necessarily the play calls that are killing them, and it's the execution that's been murdering them this year. Just absolutely terrible, terrible, terrible execution. And I will admit, there are some instances where I'm like, why are you calling that play? Like, there was a couple, like early on in the year, there was a couple like 3rd and longs, and they're running like draws or like traps up the middle. And I'm like, why not at least air the ball out? Like, try to get the first down. But more recently, even when they've been trying to throw the ball more, the offensive line is just not as good as it's been. Not even just in the passing game. The offensive line hasn't been as good as it's been in the running game. There's one clip of, they run sort of like an outside kind of play to Saquon Barkley, and I don't know who it was. I don't. It must have been one of the guards, or maybe it was one of the tackles. He's pulling, and he gets absolutely blown up by Kayvon Thibodeau, and Saquon Barkley gets tackled in the backfield. It's been so much of that this year. The Eagles' offensive line generally dominates the line of scrimmage, and they're getting blown off the ball. And some of that, like I said, is some of its execution. There's a large part of that to be just the Eagles' offensive line has been injured so much this year. I think that Giants game might be the only game where the 5 starting offensive linemen that were penciled in as the starters to start the game played and finished the entire game as the starters. Like, bunch of times Lane Johnson's gone out. Tyler Steen's been injured a couple times. Cam Jurgens is currently out. Or not Cam Jurgens. Landon Dickerson. Is it Cam Jurgens? I think Landon Dickerson missed the Giants game. I think Cam Dickerson or Cam Jurgens dealing with something, but he's still playing. The Eagles offensive line, just, they're either A, not executing, or B, they're not healthy, or C, they're both. So I think that's leading to a lot of these like poor offensive performances. The other reason why I'm not overreacting about the Giants game is because it's a divisional opponent. We see it all the time. Divisional teams play better against teams that they're familiar with. There's a reason why Miami used to beat New England all the time when New England was winning Super Bowls. It didn't have anything to do with how good Miami was, because they'd be like 2-16 on the year, or whatever the record, 2-14 or whatever. But they would randomly beat New England in the middle of the season when New England was still playing their starters. So I'm not worried about it. I think the Eagles, they'll get to their bye week in a couple weeks. They'll rest some guys up. They'll get some guys healthy. And I think we're going to see a better offensive line. But like I said, I'm not super worried. And I don't think it's Kevin Patullo. I think there's an element of Kevin Patullo in there, but I don't think it's all on him. I think there's an execution factor. I think there's an injury factor. But one thing I will say, though, that really pissed me off about the Giants game is, and I guess you could even go back 2 weeks, last week against the Broncos. And Trey, I'm not a blame the refs kind of guy. NFL officiating is absolute fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Like, how do you literally, I'm okay if you want to wave off the penalty. Wave it off, but call it fair. A.J. Brown gets tackled in the middle of his route. Oh, we're going to throw a penalty. On second thought, nope, no penalty. A.J. Brown's allowed to get tackled in the middle of his route. That's perfectly acceptable. Jalen Hurts throws a pick. Play later, Keely Ringo gets called for pass interference when all he did is barely, brush up against the guy's bicep, seductively, in the middle of the night. And that's pass interference, apparently. But you can tackle A.J. Brown in the middle of his route. That's where I'm like, you can't be that inconsistent. So that's all.
All right, I got some follow-up questions for you. A, do you think it was, because I think actually the biggest difference from last year is Barkley is just not being a Superman. Because, he's not anywhere close to being on pace for 2,000 yards this year. I mean, that's really the difference.
I don't think it's not necessarily Barkley's not being Superman. I think, like I said, so there's 2 factors I believe kind of go into that.
And do you think it was a mistake to not re-sign Mekhi Becton?
So I'll start with Mekhi Becton first. I will say they should have. I think they should have brought him back. I don't understand the reasoning not to.
Because it wasn't really that expensive either.
Yeah, I mean, if for the only reason why you re-sign him is it just gives you you more depth on the offensive line where like when that way, like if somebody goes down and gets injured, you don't have what's his
Steen
name?
would be the backup.
Mike Toff or whatever the fuck
Yeah,
his name is.
exactly.
That's absolute garbage. You don't have to throw him into the starting lineup. And again, kind of circle back to my point on the offensive line. He's been in the starting lineup at least like twice this fucking year, by the way.
Anytime that Dickerson would have left, if they just re-signed Becton, then Steen would have been the backup, and they would have been okay.
Well, that's my point. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to go to a guy who's probably like a 47 overall in Madden. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like that's why we're losing. So yeah, maybe I would say it's probably a mistake that they didn't re-sign Mekhi Becton, and that one's definitely probably on Howie. Well, not probably. It is on Howie because he's the GM. He's got to re-sign that guy. What was the first question? I kind of forgot.
Well, I want to shift to this anyway. The pick that Hurts made on the out route. Do you think like they're just trying to make him into this shotgun drop back passer? And like, why not get him more under center?
Okay, so I'll answer that, but I also remember what you asked about Barkley. So the thing with Barkley, I don't think it's like a thing where Barkley's not being Superman. I think it's a thing where last year your offensive line was really good. They were executing at a very high level, and they were always winning the line of scrimmage. Now, like basically Saquon Barkley's dealing with the offensive line that he had when he was with the New York Giants. And there's only so much you can do with the New York Giants.
I would still say it's better than that right now. Only because you got Mylotic doing shit too.
Yeah, I mean, by the law of averages, I'm saying it averages out to about the same because you got Brent Toff or Michael Toff, whatever Toff's name is, in there pretty consistently at this point. So I don't think it's like a Barkley's not being Superman. I think, like I said, it's an execution on the offensive line thing. The other part to that is that as bad as the offensive line isn't executing, the Eagles, especially to start, they've been better at it these last couple weeks against Denver, a little bit against the Giants. They were playing like hyper conservative to start the year. So like you would have guys, you'd be playing like against like 9-man boxes. And like that's just, I don't care who you are. You could be prime OJ. You're not running against the box with like 9 guys in it and getting any success out of it because it's just a numbers game at that point. So I think once they kind of started opening up the offense a little bit and stretching the field, like Barkley's, been a little bit better, but it's still not the same just because, again, they haven't been successful in their passing game. As far as Hurts is concerned, I don't think it necessarily matters that they're not putting Hurts under center because like I've seen Hurts make all the throws that he needs to make out of the shotgun, out of shotgun and from under center and things like that. I think it's just that one of the things that's kind of killing them right now is when Hurts has time to throw the ball, the routes that the wide receivers are running, they're not very creative. So it's like either everyone's covered or the opposite is that Hurts doesn't have time to throw the ball, but the offensive line, particularly the interior linemen, have been so bad that when the pressure starts to come, it's coming directly up the middle, right from like the A-gap. And when that happens, you've got nowhere to go. You can't step up into the pocket. You can't maneuver around the defensive end because they're usually taking a wider arc. So I think it's kind of just either it's a combination there. Like I said, it's not all Kevin Patullo, but like I said, it's a combination of Kevin Patullo and the offensive line.
I'm not usually one who like thinks an interception is the end of the world. Like Brett Favre threw picks and like Josh Allen throws picks. Like I don't think picks are like the end of the world all the time. But that one that he threw in the out route, it just fucking bothered me. Like it drove me insane. Not only did like he throw the pick there, but like the ball placement, like never gave his guy a chance. Why is that ball even going to Dotson in the key situation? Goddard was wide the fuck open. If he waited even a little bit longer, AJ Brown would have been wide open. Is like it feels like they're asking him to be a drop back passer when he's never been a drop back passer. Not saying he can't do it or not saying he hasn't shown moments where like, hey, in the Super Bowl, he fucking lit it up, but he just gets into these moments like he just doesn't look like a real passer. They got like, why not put him under center, help him out? Like, I don't know. I don't like what's going on right now.
I mean, I don't know. The one thing I would say about that is, generally speaking, it's easier to throw from shotgun than it is to throw from under center.
I'm saying like boot him out, like get him some play action stuff, like I think it would help the run game too.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think there is a combination of faults here. I know that the pass
and it doesn't look like they're doing the RPO stuff nearly as much this year.
Honestly, I'm okay with them not really doing the RPO.
But Hurts was good at it.
I mean, yeah, he is, but I think there's a certain point where like you have to try to protect the quarterback on the RPO stuff. And not to mention, like, I'm never a fan of the RPO because I think
I don't know what the stats are
to the penalties of like illegal man downfield. So that's why I'm not a fan of it. Like I said,
I don't know what the stats are, but it feels like they never do it now. And they used to do a lot.
Well, I know, I mean, I can tell you right off the top top of my head, when they played Denver, there was a very key penalty on a third down from an RPO for an illegal man downfield. So I know that. Well, like I said, I think part of the issue here is that I want to say that right now, Hurts isn't trusting himself and he's not trusting the offensive line. I think Hurts last year, because of the offensive line, how well they were playing, and because of who he gets to throw the ball to, and because of how well Saquon Barkley was playing, he was trusting himself a lot more and he was delivering the ball with more confidence. You mentioned like the ball placement, but I mean, when Hurts do that ball, like it didn't even look like he wanted to throw it to Dotson.
I don't know what the fuck he was trying to do on it.
But like I said, I think part of it is like there's not a lot of trust like in the offense in general. And I think that's kind of like trickling down into like the entirety of the offense, from the offensive line to the running backs to the quarterback and to the wide receivers. I think they need to get healthy on the offensive line. And to your point, I think that is something that would maybe help, is getting Hurts out of the pocket.
Yeah.
Designed rollouts, get him out of the pocket. And that way, like, he doesn't have to worry. Because I mentioned a lot of the pressure right now isn't coming from the outside, it's coming right up the middle. Get him away from the garbage that they have at guard. Because honestly, I don't think Steinstein, however you pronounce it, I don't even think he's that bad.
It's very functional.
Guy. It's the guy that's filling in for Landon Dickerson right now. That's the problem.
Anything else on the Eagles, Chad? I know Zadarius Smith retired, Nolan Smith is hurt, and Jalen Carter didn't play because apparently they were worried about MetLife Stadium conditions for him. So
I mean, honestly, I had the same concern. I was like, I'd rather him just not play and then not get hurt.
Yeah.
Honestly, going into that game, I said it multiple times, and obviously I was wrong. I was like, I'm not even worried about the Giants. I'm worried about their field. Like that turf field needs to be outlawed.
It's crazy.
It's been like detrimental to like the health of half of New York and
it's insane.
The league.
But I don't know. Trade deadline for the Eagles, like for as much as their offense has struggled, like they should have been a team that actually tried to get the Odafe Owe trade done, because I still think they need one more guy who can like rush off the edge.
I would still love to see a corner. Like, I mean, Keely Ringo at this point, like we gave him a shot. Like he hasn't played well. I'm sorry.
And I mean, with Quinion Mitchell not being healthy, that's really what's been the kick in the dick and that stuff.
Honestly, I think if Q plays, they probably still win that game.
Yeah, I do too.
But it is what it is. The Giants had injuries, so you can't sit here and blame, oh, it's all on the injuries. The Giants had just as many injuries as much as we did. I would say the one thing I think where New York benefited is where their injuries were not necessarily their team strengths, versus like where our injuries were during that game directly impacted our team strengths. They were all on the offensive and defensive line. And then the only corner that we had that could actually cover was also injured. So it didn't help.
All right, Chad, good show. We'll be back next week. And your fantasy team's on the rise here. You can't lose now all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still kind of worried. I like the injury bug got me like it got Cleveland, not Cleveland because Cleveland just sucks, but the injury bug got me like it got the Ravens. But like, I mean, Horton Hears a Who's been doing work for me. The running back I picked up didn't do anything. So like, I'm holding together with like bubble gum and duct tape at this point in fantasy. So who knows? Unless you were talking about the site league, and then in that case, I haven't even looked at it.
No, I think you're in second or third in that one.
Okay, go me. Yeah. All right, well, that'll do us. We'll get this one out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And also check out our website, vendettasportsmedia.com, for all of your Vendetta news and updates. Peace.